Hello everybody and welcome back to Stream of Consciousness Invasions. We're continuing our lore invasions today from Irithyll Dungeon / the Profaned Capital. In the last episode I forgot about the items we could use. Since we find the Xanthus ashes here, I'm letting myself use the gold pine bundles and resins and the white birch branches. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the keys that we find here, the three of them. The old cell key, which unlocks Sequard, tells us that the first prisoner of the dungeon was a lone giant. Cells for men were built at his feet, which fits that there's a giant in this room and Sigurd is in a cell that is at his feet. Now, whether or not that's the same giant, I don't know. The jailbreaker key tells us it is a key to the barred window in the Irithyll dungeon. But the window only leads to a bottomless black pit below, and above a paltry view of the ruined profaned capital. The very architecture appears to be a cruel joke the jailers played on would-be escapees. Now the fact that it refers to this place as being built and the jailers playing a trick. The jailers work for Pontiff Sullivan. Before that, they were noblewomen of the Irithyll dungeon. So, I think that scratches the theory that Pontiff Sullivan was the one locked up here. And the jailer's key ring tells us that it just unlocks all the cells, and then it asks on what grounds do they remain imprisoned, considering that by now they are mindless hollows or unrealized gibbering fools, which anytime an item asks us a question, I think it's important to try and answer it. However, on what grounds do these people remain imprisoned? I don't know. Good answer. So another thing we can look at is we're here. The giant stands in this pit here, like we said, and Sigurd's cell is at his feet, and rats basically just gnaw at the giant's feet all day, which is pretty cruel and unusual Fourth Amendment violation. Here we see a shit ton of bones. Look at the bones. If we look up, though, we drop through this chute. Or you can if you want to. But I feel like this little chute here drops prisoners down, and then the giant, who stands here and sleeps, basically just smashes the motherfuckers. Basically, like, that's the death sentence of this place. Now, if you could get around the giant, you could get to this door and escape, theoretically. The only problem being it would lead you to more jailers. So, pretty efficient work here by the Irithyll jailers. They've done a good job. Good work, everybody. Let's get started. So, here we are in the profaned capital. And one of the enemies that we come across here, there's not very many, but we find they're like the cousins to the jailers, kind of. They seem to be the noble women that the jailer's mask refers to. They're called handmaidens. They'll drop a dagger that basically says they just like inflicting pain on people. So a very shitty kind of people are they. We also run into the gargoyles here, the same gargoyles that we'll meet at Lothric Castle, except these gargoyles don't have heads, which I think implies they are older. But then that would lead one to ask, why does the same gargoyle exist in Lothric Castle? Did someone build new ones? I don't know. There may be some connection to Lothric and the profaned capital that I'm just not seeing. Get crossbowed on. Nope. Don't want to run. Nope. That was silly. Yeah, it's a great sword, but it's still curved, so you don't want to roll into it. I think he thought better of it. He's going to make me come up there. So, below us now, or what will be below us as soon as I reach the top of this, the handmaidens are all around a big, huge vessel. It is a lord-sized vessel, if you take my meaning, and it has a fire in it. And I believe that is the Profaned Flame. And the reason I believe that is because if you try and cross the bridge, that fire will shoot across the sky, and it will, you don't have the poise to do that, sir. It will basically try and torch you, which fits the description that we know of the Profaned Flame. So I believe that absolutely is it. I would. Now, as far as this particular area goes, there's not a whole lot to do or see right around in here. A lot of mimics and gold coins and treasure and stuff like that we talked about in the last episode. Um, Replaying this area in these invasions has not changed my mind. I still stand by my theory that this was basically just a very selfish and greedy sort of land. Oh, there's two of them. Alright, so the Hebel great sword guy, he's going to have a lot of poise. It's going to be hard to interrupt him. The other one, he's going to come down the ladder. Yeah. Get your hits in where you can. Oh, that was foolish of me. The jump attack caught my roll because I rolled like I would. I rolled at the time you would during a regular attack, so he was clever. Basically a roll, catch, jump attack. Well, these guys are bloodthirsty, and now they're going to have to fight a gargoyle. Good job. Now this guy shouldn't have as well. He's wearing the Millwood Knight armor. That's still pretty poise heavy. I was able to break it there, and he tried to roll away at the wrong time. Panic rolled. You better pay attention to me. He's out of stamina. This guy's playing like a crazy person. Oh, I can't hit him because of the damn gargoyle. I think this one's over. Yep. Yeah. I stand by my assertion that the citizens of the Profaned Capital were a very greedy people. We talked about that in the last episode if you missed it. And this toxic pool here is another thing I wanted to go over. And we see the shit-eating mudbug ladies. We talked about a little bit about how the toxic pools can represent stagnation, and this would not be the first time that Miyazaki had referenced Shintoism in their beliefs and ideals in his video games. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but I believe it is Kagare. Is basically when something becomes toxic, it's filth. It blocks the flow. Like flow is very important in Shintoism, and anything that is stagnant is seen as a sort of poison. This came up in Bloodborne a lot. If you read the runes that you could in Bloodborne, instead of rings, you have runes that your hunter etches onto his brain, and they're the words of the Great Ones. And the idea of corruption and stagnation and that kind of that it was all very heavily oh please God, let me oh, worth it. I don't think they're going to be over there because the gargoyle hasn't moved yet. But yeah, the toxic pool, I think, is a representation of that impurity, that filth that is caused by any kind of anything that would defy the flow of time and nature, like the Profaned Flame would. And that kind of brings us around to Yorm. And in the last episode, I said that you see people, they don't really, some people have a misconception that when Yorm linked the fire, the Profaned Flame came about. But that is not the case. The Profaned Flame went crazy when Yorm linked the fire. The Profaned Flame then existed before Yorm linked the fire. The Profaned Flame is not the flame that he linked. He linked our flame, the regular fire. the first flame. He linked the first flame. But it drove the Profaned Flame absolutely nuts. It went apeshit and killed everybody that lived here. The item descriptions tell us that Yorm, when he linked the fire, it was his intention to put the Profaned Flame to rest. So in the other episode, in the last episode, I said I didn't think that Yorm necessarily liked these people very much. I don't think he liked these people. I don't think he liked this civilization. Dragon Bro just got ate by that hand, and if the host isn't careful, they will too. So yes, Yorm linking the fire caused the Profane Flame to go crazy, and I think that him trying to put the Profaned Flame to rest, as that was his intention when he linked the fire. So he almost had like this sort of like backwards approach to it. He wasn't linking the fire because the world needed the I had no idea they could do that. Fuck you, you big-handed bitch. Motherfucker. We'll continue. What was I saying? Yorm linked the flame in an attempt to cut the Profaned Flame off. Basically, he was wanting to hit the reset button, and it didn't work. Instead, it just killed everyone. So basically, it was like Yorm had good intentions, you know, in his heart. Like he wanted this Profaned Flame. It's called the Profaned Flame. That's not a good name. You know what I mean? Like the marketing team really needs to work on its ideas. If it thinks that calling something the Profaned Flame and expecting people to want it to stick around is, you know what I mean? That's not how that works. So I've seen 2 phantoms, but I've not yet seen a host. Now they get the bright idea to use the seed on me. So the gold there is over-leveled. The over-leveled phantom is quickly becoming my least favorite fucking... I hate that now more than I hate the seed of the giant tree. The seed of the giant tree just puts us on equal footing. The overleveled summon, it's like, why do you I don't know. It's like, why not just make a level appropriate character play with your friend, because you want to feel super powerful. And it's like, we're level 120, man. How high did you want to go? I guess we'll find out when I kill the damn thing. Alright, so I'm gonna get away from the jailers because they'll eat through my Estus. I'll constantly have to be, you know, they're gonna reduce my health, and then my health is gonna be low. So we're gonna get away from them. I am going to start shit with all the other enemies that I can, and at least get them active. I want as much chaos sown as possible. While we're waiting here for them to draw aggro back from the jailers, what were we talking about? Oh, the Profaned Flame. But yeah, I think I covered it. I think that's everything I wanted to say. Just Yorm seems to have had opposite motivations from most people. His intention was to put a fire out. And sure, he did that by linking the flame, but it was basically him trying to hit the reset button and get rid of the Profaned Flame. My fucking crossbow bolts keep hitting the stairs. I'm gonna have to take a couple steps up, I guess. I'm using sniper bolts, hoping that they do decent damage. I'm really liking this Alva cosplay. It's a lot of fun. I was not much on curved greatswords until the episode where I was using the Karthus Great Curved Sword. Excuse me. And that kind of changed my mind on them a little bit. They are slow as shit, but they're just, I don't know, there's something satisfying about hitting somebody with one. Alva could stand to deal with a little bit of more poise, I think. Now, his armor for its weight ratio gives you the best poise, but the wolf ring would help this build, but for whatever reason I don't have a wolf ring on this character, so and it's no big. I went ahead and refined this weapon, just so, I mean, the damage was noticeable. It was noticeably better if you refined it, so I went ahead and did that. Alright, they're using heal spells, so maybe somebody's getting low on Estus. Alright, what I'm going to try and do, now that they've cleared this area out, I'm going to run them back to the elevator, and I'm going to try and split the group up. When you're running away, a lot of times it helps to turn the camera and look behind you. On this occasion, I don't do. Oh, god damn it! They haven't activated the elevator. Yeah, touch the button. One of you guys touch this button. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. I'm trapped. All right, we're gonna have to make space if they're not gonna do the elevator for us. All right, we've been hit with a 100 charm. All right, this is our chance. All right, now run. Hope we don't get hit with any bombs. It's hard to look behind you in this particular area, is what I was saying, because of all the turns and curves and shit. But we're fine. They seem to be far enough behind us that we can escape. That plan did not work out like I wanted it to, so now what we're going to do is we're going to lure them back to this gargoyle. It's going to kill some time and let me heal. And hopefully this curvy staircase here will help me thin out this party. Yep, there went the gold. How many souls are you gonna give me? A shit zillion. And keep chugging. Guess what, host? We're gonna have to wait for the party to get out of his world before he's... There we go. I'm not talking much about lore right now, and I apologize. Just happy to be rid of the 2 phantoms. But this should be cut and dry at this point. Oh, don't go for the backstab. Well, that's fine. Panic rolled him into a corner. So I at least get to take advantage of that. Maybe an arrow. Nope. Alright, maybe he wants to fight. So, I believe the keys that we talked about at the beginning of the episode, I think they're telling us a story about someone who did break out of this jail. And I had seen it theorized that it was Pontiff Sullivan. Can Opener Dude basically said the same thing that I was thinking about. And it's, if it was going to be Pontiff Sullivan, wouldn't they have said it? Wouldn't there be some clue? I believe it might have been a wizard, because most of these people here seem to be... everything's very magic oriented in this jail. Now, if everything's magic oriented in the jail, and we find this wizard here who drops this scroll, and these people, they claim to be the descendants of Big Hat Logan, and we find the Venheim sorcerer outfit, we find the bellowing dragon crest ring, it would appear, it would appear as if it were sorcerers that were being locked away here. Not here, but in the jail. It would appear as if it were sorcerers that were those people that we see in the bobble-headed dragon kin. I don't know what else to call them. All of their weapons are, you know, dragon tailbone dagger, dragon tailbone spear, that kind of thing. They, one of them, I think, is protecting like a simple gem. There's a maggot guy we find, and if we kill him, he gives us great magic shield. It's almost like all these people were, or well, yeah, people. It almost seems as if like people were being turned into like these horrible fucking abominations. They turn into the maggot people. They turn them into the bobble-headed dragonkin. Um, and there's so much sorcery stuff around here that it leads me to believe that this place was, and the fact that I just smacked myself in the head, the fact that Carla is imprisoned here, um, that as well points towards that. How do you guys think the jailers? What do you think it is that the jailers are using? What is it that they're doing that eats away at our health, our maximum health? What is that? It's definitely their lantern, but because when that ability kicks on, the lantern lights up, and when they turn it off, they blow the lantern out. Um, but why? I mean, it's a cool gameplay mechanic. Uh, it straddles the line between bullshit and different. Walks that line very tightly. The only reason it's not absolute bullshit is because the jailers really have nothing. Like they have one attack where they pin you down, and as long as you don't panic roll out of it, their next attack will always miss. If when you get up, you can't roll, you'll fat roll. So when you get up, if you just walk straight into the jailer, their next attack will always miss and leave them open for a backstab. So really, the jailers, I mean, it's almost impossible for them to kill you unless they've eaten away all your health. So we see all these tunnels, and we see something has been tunneling out of this jail. We found all these keys, and all these keys tell us about, people trying to escape the jail. There's the party. It's curious stuff. This red phantom here is using my setup, I think. Yeah, it's got the Lothric Knight shield and sword. We're gonna have us a little 3v2, it looks like, whenever they decide to jump down here. But yeah, somebody's been tunneling through these walls. We found all these keys. It seems very much like the keys are trying to tell us the story of someone who escaped. That phantom's dead. Later. Oh, I went for the backstab. For whatever reason, didn't get it. I really wish the red would have stayed on the bridge and held his ground so we could have had this fight on the bridge. I've pretty much worn the Silver Cat ring throughout these invasions. Now, right now, it would actually be beneficial for me to wear the Knight ring and the Hunter ring. Before I refined this weapon, it wasn't really worth it. It was worth it to wear one, but not the other. Now, if I wear both, it's beneficial. It takes my AR from like 490 to 500, and being at 500, being like right at 500 that's a good break point. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I just fucked up. The red totally could have killed the gold if I hadn't hit him just then. Lightning. I guess I could have been using the lightning bolt. Oh, and then he fucked up and hit me. But it wasn't really his fault. We both just went into attack at the same time. The red has switched to a great sword. Let's try and... yeah, we're going to try and flank them. Oh, fuck. They were able to focus solely on... damn! They were able to focus solely on the red. Let's see if he... I didn't hear anyone drop down behind me. The host took damage when he jumped down, so he's not wearing the Silver Cat ring. The fact that they're not chasing me leads me to believe that he's still not wearing it, and I think that increases the likelihood that he just doesn't have the Silver Cat ring. It's always a pain in the ass to have to do Sirius's quest line with every character I want to, I was going to say with every character I want to invade with, but I want to invade with every character. From this distance, I would need to use sniper bolts, and I'm still not sure they would really be worth a shit as far as damage is concerned. But yeah, I feel like we've pretty much talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. I really feel like there's more to the Profaned Capital than people always seem disappointed about the lore and how short it is and all this stuff. But really, I think it's one of the more concise areas. It feels more fleshed out as far as the story goes, to me anyway. I mean, I'm not saying there's not places that are more fleshed out, because I think there are definitely places that feel more fleshed out, but the Profaned Capital doesn't feel like a shortcoming to me in this game like it does to some other people. When you take into consideration, that did not work out, when you take into consideration that the Irithyll Dungeon is part of the Profaned Capital, it's not. I think people just, I think they assume that the Irithyll Dungeon, they count it as part of Irithyll. Understandably so. It's called Irithyll Dungeon, but to me, it's part of the Profaned Capital. The boss of this area is not Pontiff Sullivan. The boss of this area is Yorm. So, to me, this is all one big area. I would like to know, though. I feel like they are trying to tell us the story of someone who broke out of the Irithyll Dungeon with the keys, like I said, the keys and the tunneling and all that. And I would like to know if that's the case, if someone did escape this prison. Is there are there any prisoners in the game? Is there something I'm missing? Broke his guard and I wasn't able to take the critical, but I did get 2 R1s out of it, so not entirely lost. I've still got 5 Estus, and as long as I don't make... Oh, there it is. He fucked up. Oh! And I grabbed him out of the back step. The end. That's the second time we've killed them, or we've won against them. That'll do it for us today, guys, and that'll do it for the Irithyll Dungeon and the Profaned Capital. I'll see you guys in Lothric next time. Hype!